Welcome to another edition of Renegade Tech Tips. Today we're going to look at how to create a Google form. Google Forms are an amazing tool for collecting data from respondents. So let's take a look at how to do this. Click your waffle box, open your drive, and now we're going to click New. Go to More, and select Google Forms. Here we start out with a blank form. First thing we want to do is title our form. If we just click in this field, it automatically titles the heading for us. We can add a form description, which is a good idea. And now I like to set my settings right away, so I click the gear, and it's a good idea to collect email addresses so you have some way of reaching out to the person in the event that a response requires you to do so. You can also provide response receipts so the respondent can review their responses. And if you're sending this to parents outside of our organization, it's a good idea to uncheck the Restrict the Users to Bristol School District and its organization. This way, parents can respond without having a Bristol School District account. Next, we can take a look at the presentation. You can show a progress bar if you have a complex survey or quiz. Shuffle the question order if it's a quiz. Or you can show a link to submit another response. You can also set a custom confirmation message. Once this is set, you can move on to set this up as a quiz if you want it to be a quiz. We'll cover that in a later date. It's not necessary to set it as a quiz. Now let's pick a theme. Let's do something fun here. We can choose an image, set a theme color, a background color, and even set the font style. Most often, I just choose a theme, or choose an image, sorry. I'm going to select the choo-choo train. There we go. And we can close this window. We can see that it's already set to require the respondent to enter an email address. Now, for example, let's say we want to collect the last name. We can see that the answer type over here changes automatically to short answer. We can also set it to a paragraph, multiple choice, checkbox, drop down. We can even take file uploads such as pictures. We can set a linear scale, a multiple choice grid, a checkbox grid. We can even have the respondent enter a date and time if we would like. We can make this question required because we want to require the respondent to enter their last name. We can add a description or validate the response. This is useful if you're looking to collect only numbers or alphanumeric values. You can copy the question. This makes creating multiple questions or large forms quick and easy. It's important to be cautious though when doing this, because if your original question is set to required, all subsequent questions copied will also be set to required. At times, the respondent may not have the information or it may not be applicable to that respondent, so they have nothing to put in there. So setting it to required would keep them from completing the survey. Next, let's send this survey out. We can send this survey out directly to our respondents by typing their email address in. And if we want to include the form in the email, we can do so by checking the box. We can also add collaborators. If we would like others to work on this form with us, we would do that at the Add Collaborators form. If this is a quiz, which we'll cover later, and we want to include this in Google Classroom, we can shorten the URL to make it easy, and copy and paste the URL in the assignment. We can do this by hitting Control-C or copy in the lower right. For now, I'm just going to close. Once we've sent the responses, we'll want to see those responses. Or once we've seen the quiz, we'll want to see the responses. We can do that here and get an overview. Or we can also create a Google Sheet. I prefer to create the Google Sheet because it helps me to organize the data later. This step is actually quite helpful down the road. Here we can see all of our question fields, including a timestamp. If we highlight that row, we can also set it so that we can filter the data. Simply click Data and create filter. As the responses come in, we can then sort these responses by a variety of keys, so to speak. We can sort them by value, greatest to least, or least to greatest, or other variables based on the filters below. Currently we have no responses, but we are accepting responses, as we can see below. Let's go ahead and see what this form looks like to our respondent. We can test our form in the preview mode by entering some information. Respondent must enter their email, and the respondent can request a copy for themselves and then click Submit. Now let's take a look at where those responses go. If we click on the Demos Form Response, we can see that the responses have been deposited here in our Google Form Response. We can also see an overview of those responses. Google Forms is a powerful tool that, when leveraged correctly, can make the collection of data from multiple respondents quick and easy, and organizing that data and making sense of it even easier